Hello everyone, it's Leticia again. Welcome back to my impromptu cooking class. Today what I'm going to be giving you is something that you can cook during quarantine because we've got frozen salmon here and we've got some spices that you might already have in your pantry. So today's meal is actually the baked cilantro salmon, and the focal point here is this fresh cilantro. I also have this right here, and it's a mixture of my favorite spices. You'll see that I've got my Cookin right here. I've got my seasoned salt. The seasoned salt is a must. It has all of the flavor in there. We've got the pepper, onion powder, and we also have our Montreal chicken. So if you want to know just how much I put in this little mixture, the Cookin is 1.5 teaspoons. Salt is something that I sprinkle. Pepper I sprinkle, onion powder 1/2 teaspoon, and the Montreal chicken is actually 1 full teaspoon, and that makes this mixture. I like to make the mixture first because what that does is it evenly distributes the spices when I go to put them in the pan. Welcome back. I went ahead while we were away, chopped up my cilantro, so it's right here. I also went ahead and put the salmon on some paper towels. I did that because it's really kind of wet after it thaws out. So I wanted to make sure that I caught some of that liquid. I start with pouring my olive oil first. I go ahead and get in the pan. I want the pan kind of covered. Then I start placing my salmon. I want to rub my salmon in that olive oil. I actually want my salmon to be nicely coated. That's going to help my spices stick. If you're using fresh salmon, you won't have to use the paper towels to pat it down because it won't have this much liquid with it. Just a friendly note. Once you have turned the salmon both ways and both sides have olive oil, then you go through and you start putting on your spices. Remember, I pre-mixed these spices on purpose. I did that because I wanted to ensure that the salmon would have the same amount of spices on each piece of salmon. Then I turn it over and I spice the bottom too because I can't leave it out. Now my spices are gone. The last thing I like to do is make sure I put my cilantro on there. I put a healthy helping, a healthy little serving of cilantro. Some people like cilantro, some people don't. So this is all according to how much cilantro you can tolerate. I love cilantro. I think it adds a really fresh flavor to most of the foods that I put it in. So you can see that this is a very healthy flavor. Again, if you want to put cilantro on the bottom portions, you can as well. I put more on the top. It's kind of pretty when it comes out of the oven when it's like that. But I do make sure that some of the bottom of the salmon gets it as well, because you want to make sure that all that flavor is evenly dispersed. Every single salmon bite needs to taste like that delicious fresh lime. Okay. Wiping off. The last thing I'm going to do here, like I said, is that I take the salt and sprinkle it over. And I take my pepper and I sprinkle it over as well. The last remaining olive oil gets a little drizzle. I don't want my salmon to dry out when it's in the oven. Now I'm going to pop it in the oven. As you can see right here, I've got my oven at 415. You can put your oven at 415 or 425. This all depends on if you have a convection oven or not. I have a convection oven, and so my convection oven cooks very hot. It gets really warm very quickly, so I try and put it a couple degrees down. I'm going to leave this in here for 10 minutes. And again, depending on how warm your oven is, it might cook a little faster, it might cook a little slower, but roughly 10 minutes is about what you want for that size of salmon for the thickness of the fillet. Just so you know, I said 10 minutes earlier, but I left these in for like 1 more minute, so it's really actually 11 minutes at 4:15. All right. I know they're good and ready because of the coloring. And you'll see right here, like you'll see these little white spots right there. That's just that fat from the salmon coming out, but it is done. So this is really easy to do. It does not take long. And because it's frozen, it's perfect for quarantine. Thank you so much.